Why I walked away from a princess rose. I could have had the world, a throne wrapped in velvet, a crown that sparkled with ancient fire, a hand so delicate that poets would carve verses just from her touch. She was a princess, not only by blood, but by the way her eyes ruled every room, by the way her silence carried kingdoms, by the way the air bent to her presence. And yet, I walked away, not because she wasn't beautiful, for beauty was the least of her gifts, not because she wasn't kind, for her heart was gentle as rain, not because I didn't dream of staying, but because love, real love, cannot live in a palace where the walls are thicker than the heart. I remember the first evening. The hall glittered with chandeliers. 1,000 diamonds hung above us, but the only light I saw was her smile. She spoke, her words like rose petals, falling one by one, soft, measured, yet echoing deeper than thunder. The crowd adored her, but I saw what they missed. The quiet ache behind her laughter, the loneliness that followed her, like a shadow dressed in silk. She could command armies, but she could not command her own freedom. And I could not chain my soul to a life that wasn't mine. They said, "Are you mad? Who walks away from a princess? Who turns their back on a crown that would outshine the sun?" But I ask you this. What good is a golden cage, even if it is carved with diamonds? What good is a love, measured in status, calculated in politics, spoken in whispers of duty, and not in cries of longing? I didn't want a throne beside her. I wanted the ground where we could run. I didn't want her palace. I wanted her silence in the night. I didn't want her crown. I wanted her bare head resting against my chest. Walked away because I wanted a woman, not a princess. I wanted a heartbeat, not a symbol. I wanted the kind of love that burns palaces down, not the one that keeps them standing. And she, for all her grace, could not give me that, not because she didn't want to, but because her life was never hers to give. I remember the final night. She looked at me, eyes shimmering with unshed storms, and whispered, "If only." 2 words. 2 words heavier than the entire kingdom. 2 words that tore me in half. If only. If only she were free. If only I could stay. If only the world bent for love instead of power. But love is cruel when it collides with duty, and I could not let my soul drown in her cage. So I kissed her hand, not like a lover, but like a mourner at a grave, and I turned away. Now I walk the earth with no crown, no palace, no throne, only the memory of a princess who once looked at me like I was her freedom, like I was the man who could break her chains, But freedom comes with a price, and I was not willing to pay it in lies. Some nights, I wonder if I was a coward, if I should have stayed, fought the walls, stolen her away, burned the kingdom down, just for her smile. But then I remember, a love built on fire will one day turn to ash, and I wanted a love that could outlive eternity, not one that ended in smoke. Do you know what it means to walk away from a princess? It means you walk away from every dream they told you to want. It means you break yourself free from the illusions the world paints as paradise. It means you choose painful truth over beautiful lies. It means you leave with empty hands, but with a heart still your own. So yes, I walked away from a princess. I walked away from silk and velvet, from crowns and chambers, from voices that said, "You'd be a fool to go." But let me tell you this, sometimes the greatest bravery isn't in winning a kingdom, but in refusing it. And sometimes, the truest story you'll ever write is the one where you walk away before the fairy tale turns into a prison. Rose, I walked away from a princess, not because she wasn't enough, but because love, the kind that could set us both free, was never allowed inside her palace. And I chose freedom, even if it meant losing her.